Emilie is one character that surprised me a lot. At first I thought she wasn't too good or interesting until a day or two later. Emilie is an incredible Dendro sub DPS. She provides a ton of Dendro application and strives in burning comms. However, she can still be used in other Dendro related comms. So let's get started with this Emilie guide. After 13 days of her release, this is what I've learned. So first, breaking down her kit. Starting off with the way she works. Let's get started with Emilie's talent, Lingering Fragrance. Each time your lamp collects 2 scents, its level will increase to a current max of level 2. It will then consume scents and deal a good amount of AoE Dendro damage equal to 600% of Emilie's attack. This is not considered elemental skill damage, meaning it does not add to the current multiplier of her E. Next, let's take a look at her talent, Rectification. Emilie deals increased burning damage to enemies for every 1000 attack by 15% to a max of 36%, meaning you want to get it to about 3000 attack. Last talent before we get to a basic E and ult is the Headspace Capture. When the Lumidos case is on field, all party members gain a 85% increase of pyro resistance against burning specifically. Now, quickly for Emilie's talent priorities, level up her E into ultimate into basic last, but basic doesn't really mean much, so you could leave it at level 6. However, her E and ult are the most important parts of her kit, so do make sure to level that up. So, getting to her basic first, it's very straightforward. Emilie performs 4 basic attacks. In terms of its scaling, it's not that good, but you won't be using it that much, so that's fine. Next up is her elemental skill, the Fragrance Extraction. Using her E creates a Lumidos case that deals AoE Dendro damage. The Lumidos case fires Dendro pellets at nearby enemies at a decently fast rate. When enemies are affected by burning, they will give off scents at certain intervals. It can create 1 scent every 2 seconds. This way, the Lumidos case will collect scents and will level up to level 2. This allows the case to fire an additional puff of pure dew. The damage is also further increased. If the case does not collect scents for the next 8 seconds, it will return to level 1. Then, her archetype is Pneuma, and can be triggered from her E, the Lumidos case. The scaling of her E is good, however, the duration is incredibly long, allowing you to have over 100% uptime. Lastly, for her ultimate, the Aromatic Explication. If your Lumidos is already at level 2, her ultimate will increase the case level to level 3. Now the case will not collect scents, but will cause Scented Dew to drop and attack enemies within its range. During this, you can obtain 1 drop of Scented Dew every 0.3 seconds, and any one opponent can become the target once every 0.7 seconds. After her ult runs out, her case will be recreated at level 1. She has a low energy cost of 50 and a decent scaling on top of that. Lastly, before going to the weapon segments, she's a crit pull character rather than an elemental mastery build character. Now, starting off with the weapons, the Lumidos Elegy being her best in slot. This weapon provides you with a base attack of 608 and a crit rate stat of 33% at level 90. The Lumidos Elegy has a really good passive. The holder's attack is increased by 15%. Once the equipping character triggers burning or deals Dendro damage to enemies, then the damage dealt is increased by 18% and lasts for 8 seconds. It also stacks twice. Once you obtain both stacks, or when the duration is refreshed, this weapon restores 12 energy for the wielder. You can trigger the energy passive every 12 seconds, and this weapon's passive can still be triggered while the wielder is off field. On to the next weapon, the Calamity Queller. This is pretty much Shenhe's best in slot. The Calamity Queller has an insanely high base attack at 741, and a second stat of attack percent at 16% at level 90. The passive gives you 12% elemental damage bonus. You then obtain a passive called Consummation for 20 seconds. Basically, after you obtain that part of the passive after using your E, your attack will be increased by 3% per second and stacks to a maximum of 6 times. On top of that, when the equipping character is off field, the Consummation attack buff is doubled. Now, onto the Primordial Jade Winged Spear, Xiao's best in slot. This weapon gives you a high base attack of 674 and 22 crit rate at level 90. This weapon's passive is pretty straightforward. On hit, / when you basic attack, the weapon increases the equipper's attack by 3% for 6 seconds, and stacks up to a maximum of 7 times. You can obtain 1 stack every 0.3 seconds. Also, when you reach your max 7 stacks, your damage is increased by 12% for the equipper. Next is the Engulfing Lightning. The Engulfing Lightning provides you with a 608 base attack and 55% energy regen at level 90. The weapon passive is really good if you meet the requirements. The equipper's attack is increased by 28% of your energy recharge over the base 100% that your character already has. You can gain a max of 80% attack this way. It also gives you 30% recharge when you ultimate. Now for the 4 stars. The Deathmatch, the Battle Pass weapon. The Deathmatch gives you a low base attack of 454 and 36 crit rate at level 90. For the passive, if there are at least 2 enemies nearby, the equipper's attack is increased by 16% and defense is also increased by 16%. If there are fewer than 2 opponents, then the character's attack is increased by 24%. Next, the Favonius Lance. This is a gacha weapon, you have to pull for it. The Favonius Lance has a base attack of 565 and 30 energy recharge at level 90. For its passive, critical hits have a 60% chance to generate 6 energy for the character once every 12 seconds. Onto the next weapon, the Missive Wind Spear. This was an event weapon. The Missive Wind Spear has a 510 base attack and 41% attack as its second stat at level 90. For the passive, within 12 seconds after an elemental reaction is triggered, the equipper's attack is increased by 12% and also have the elemental mastery increased by 48% at R1. Now getting to our artifacts. The Unfinished Reverie's 2-piece provides you with 18% attack. The 4-piece is as follows. After leaving combat for 3 seconds, damage dealt is increased by 50%. In combat, if no burning enemies are nearby for more than 6 seconds, the bonus will decrease by 10% per second until it's all gone and reaches 0%. However, when a burning enemy exists, it will increase the damage by 10% instead until it reaches 50%, and this effect can be triggered even when the character equipping this artifact is off-field. Onto our next artifact set, Deepwood Memories. The 2-piece of Deepwood Memories increases the character's dendro damage bonus by 15%. For the 4-piece, after your E or ultimate hits the opponent, the target's dendro res will be decreased by 30% for 8 seconds. This effect can also be triggered even if the character holding the artifact is off-field. Onto her third best artifact set, the Golden Troop. The Golden Troop 2-piece increases the character's skill damage by 20%, and the 4-piece increases the character's skill damage by an additional 25%. When the character is off-field, the character's E damage will be increased by another 25%, and will be cleared after 2 seconds of the character coming back on-field. This works really well on her, and is about 10% or less weaker than the Unfinished Reverie. Now, for your 2-piece options, you could run 2-piece Deepwood, 2-piece Golden Troop, 2-piece Deepwood, 2-piece Gladiators, or any 2-piece combination of attack sets. For your subset priorities, you want to prioritize attack percentage into crit rate, crit damage, into energy recharge, into flat attack, into elemental mastery. Overall, try and obtain 3k attack at least. So, onto her playstyle. You want to start off with her E always. Then, use your pyro character to apply the burning reaction. After that, do your full rotation, for example, Jean ult or Kazuha ult, then Emilie ult, then your second pyro character. Then, back to your main burning pyro driver. I'll show more rotations in the showcase. So, onto the team section. For your pyro team's main DPS, you can use almost every pyro character such as Hu Tao, Klee, Diluc, Yanfei, Amber, Gaming, or Arlecchino. Then add Emilie. Then you can use any other pyro support such as Bennett, Xiangling, Thoma, or Dehya. For your reverse Fape teams, you can use Furina, Ayato, Yelan, Child, Xingqiu, Barbara, and Candace. For her Electro teams, Yaimiko, Raiden Shogun, Sino, Kaching, Fischl, Beidou, and Razor all work pretty well in the driver's seat. For reverse melt, or rather burning melt, I'm most excited about Ganyu, but Wriothesley works well in the comp. Also Kaya and Aloy do pretty well. For the last honorable mention, Jean works incredibly well with Emilie, especially in burning comps. Jean and Emilie together is so good, it takes the old Sunfire comp to another level. Now, finally, a showcase on my favorite teams to use Emilie with. These teams are more for fun, but are also pretty strong.
清掃を開始します。
やりよれ風の雲
我に光やっふっふっ世界を熱狂の渦に
せいそこだいざや
再構成します。
それ雲が仮
霧となって散りなさい。よっふったはよっいこうふったやっほー料理の時間だよ。
はっはっ
ふった話が通じないならさおおい管理します。グオパー
風よせいそこだ俺と行こうもみちはちら
福育の語り行こうふったやっほーおいお表現のチャージ律令
舞風の歌雲の
再構成します。我に光を呪言チョックや
風よそれはっ
来光意と美しきかな。律令チョック呪言
剣女盤石はっせいそこだや
よっ律令呪言律令
岩山八九
管理します。
舞はっいざはっはっ好きはっ天道万象せっふっふ難攻不落
呪言チョック
はっふっはっよっ
はや呪言せい
風よはっ雲が仮
霧となって散りなさい。チョック律令有限なるライト呪言律よ行くぞ再構成します。
みんなは俺が守る
風の神我らを導き我に光を
耐えられるか
はっはっよいざ勝負
せいはっへっ
管理します。
みんながそばにいて
風よ私に応えるのだ。
やるかふっ
やっはっはっ
燃えろへっふっねせい
いざ勝負再構成します。
みんなは俺が守る
風の神よ我ら霧となって散りなさい。行くぞはっよっせいた
燃えろはっはっくらえねはっみんながそばにいて
それ風よ私
さあ食いしばれよ
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe and leave a comment if you are pulling Emilie or if you already pulled her.